Hi, hello, it's Nikki, and welcome to my messy bookshelves. Today we're going to be re-ranking the 6 Jane Austen novels. I ranked them before I reread some of them in the month of July, and I thought it would be fun to come back and re-rank them after I have reread some of them. And I did get to reread 4 of them. So I read 4 of the 6 Jane Austen novels. And yes, my rankings have changed slightly. So it's not a huge drastic change, but there are some changes in my rankings. So without further ado, I will get right into it. So in 6th place, we have Mansfield Park. This has not changed. I feel like I got more out of this one this time around, but still, I am not the hugest fan of Fanny Price. I know a lot of people say that she is their favorite, and she is a great character. This is still a wonderful book. I loved it, and I enjoyed my reread of it. However, I do think out of the heroines in Jane Austen's novels, I would say that I probably like her the least. So I don't like the romance. I enjoyed the main love interest more this time around, but the romance itself to me is kind of weak. Yeah. So highly enjoy it. I definitely recommend this book, but yes, it is still in 6th place. The next one, and this has changed. The next one is Sense and Sensibility. Really enjoyed this reread, and this I did reread Mansfield Park and this one. Sense and Sensibility, this was my 2nd time reading this. Really enjoyed it. Love the Dashwood sisters. I think it's very funny the way they complement each other. One is very serious and sensible, the other one is very emotional and sensitive. So the romances in here are, in my opinion, a little more enjoyable than they were in Mansfield Park. But while I do enjoy Eleanor as a main character, she is still not my favorite. And the love interest, we don't really see too much of him like we do in some of the other novels. So I don't dislike him. And yeah, that is where Sense and Sensibility falls. And my next one has also changed in rankings. This has gone up and down in my rankings many times, and this is probably one of the ones I have read the most. And this is Northanger Abbey. And I was delighted reading this past month. And there were several times where I laughed out loud. I love this book. This has gone from number 1 to number 3 to number 2. So upon this reread, it is in 4th place, right? Yes. Love Catherine Morland, and I love Henry Tilney, the love interest. I love the fact that it's basically a satire making fun of Gothic novels, which Catherine is a fan of. So it's like a fake Gothic novel romance. And I love that. I love it very much. But I feel like we don't get a lot of depth to some of the characters. So for that reason, it has moved down slightly. So love this book still. It's still one of my favorite books ever. And yes, highly recommend this one. The next one is a surprise to me, and that is Emma. So in 3rd place, we have Emma. And in the past, I have really disliked Emma as a character, and I did still find her annoying at the beginning of this book. But I feel like I love how she develops throughout the story. I love how she kind of sees her own flaws, which I really like that. I love the love interest in this book. I really love the romance in this one as well. So I also found that I fell in love more with some of the other characters in this book this time around. So for that reason, it moved up in rankings. This used to be further down in my rankings, so it has passed Northanger Abbey, which it never did before. And then second place, we have Persuasion. This one I did not reread this month. However, it has always been in my top 3. And what can I say? The romance in this one, I find this one to be probably among the most romantic of her books, if not the most romantic of the 6 novels. I really love the main love interest in this story, and I love the regret in this book, and I love how it all plays out in the end. So for that reason, it is staying in my top 2. And of course, we cannot not mention number 1, which is still Pride and Prejudice for me. So I did not reread this one this month, but I did read it maybe 2 months ago again. And this one for me has it all. This one has the humor that I find in Northanger Abbey with the romance of Persuasion, and the character development, I think, of Emma. So for that reason, it stays in first place. There are just so many times in this book that I laugh out loud. I love the main characters. I love what happens in here. And yes, there are so many characters, but they are not just flat periphery characters. I just love the way that she brings all of them to life. So for that reason, Pride and Prejudice in first place still. But yes, yes, my rankings changed a little bit, but not too much. So I think I have, you know, I have my preferences, and I don't know that they'll ever change very much, but it would be interesting to see in another year or two, after rereading 1 or more of these, to see if my rankings would change again. But that being said, I would love to hear what your favorite Jane Austen is, or if you absolutely hate Jane Austen, which I know some people cannot stand reading her books. I do, however. So, but I thank you so much if you've made it to the end of this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.